Justin Reed, defensive end from Navy, getting ready and preparing for the NFL draft, achieving his dream of playing in the NFL. Justin, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no worries. We just wanted to get to know you, know about your life growing up, how you got into football. So tell me a little bit about that. Growing up in Apex, North Carolina, how did you discover football and what was life like in Apex?
Yeah, so Apex is a small town outside the Raleigh area. I grew up playing basketball throughout my time being a kid, and I didn't start playing football till the 7th grade, roughly. It was just something because I needed a break, and all that teenage little angst you got going on. So football is a way to be able to hit people, and so I picked it up and fell in love with it immediately. Um, did that all throughout Apex, my time there.
You're saying it's a small town, so there's not much really to go on over there. I'm guessing it's a more of a country feel. So I'm guessing if I had to take a stab at it, you were maybe like an avid fisher, hunter.
Oh yeah, definitely love to fish out there.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all we did after practice. You get done with summer workouts. You went over to like the little dams and rivers and just fished all day and just repeat that. So I loved Apex and the town and the community. They've been so supportive through for me throughout my journey. Even when I was in high school and throughout the Naval Academy, I go back just to see like my old principals and coaches. And they have been welcoming me with open arms and have been motivating me throughout my process.
Over in football, you were a 4-year letterman. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. For your captain as well.
And you were playing all over the field. It wasn't just defensive end, but it was middle linebacker, a little bit of tight end, maybe some fullback. What made you settle in on defensive end?
I thought it was the best opportunity to use a lot of my skills, just being able to play like a strong five technique or even move up to stand up. And then especially once I moved over, since moving and having all those experiences in those positions, defensive end just made me feel most comfortable. I love being able to move around and do different things, and especially here in Navy, having the opportunity to play defensive end here allowed me to be able to expand my horizon and being able to stand up in a stand up five or move down and play the three technique or even drop into the flats. Those were all things I was able to do as a defensive end, and that helped me evolve my game.
Yeah, I was going to ask, you're talking a little bit about that stance. When I was watching some highlights, I know that Navy uses a mixture of their outside linebackers kind of being in that standing up position, but then sometimes there could be some defensive ends that are playing in the dirt. Which one did you really hone in on and do you feel more comfortable with?
I would say starting out, I got pretty comfortable putting my hand in the dirt, but then over time, standing up in the 2 point was felt got more and more comfortable. I felt like I was really explosive on the edge, being able to be productive too. A few of my sacks came off just being in a 2 point stance, so that allowed that for me to be more effective. And then having my hand in the dirt, my movements were quick, being able to slant the gaps. So that allowed me to be efficient. So just honing in on my skills like that allowed me to be more effective on the field.
Effective, you definitely were, as you got many scholarship offers, 6 to be exact. What schools offered you scholarships?
I had Charleston Southern, Tulane, Colorado Boulder, Campbell University, North Carolina Central, Army. I think that's pretty much about it.
And so speaking of the military side of it with Army and Navy, uh, those schools sound amazing. But with those schools in particular, like Army and Navy, as opposed to Tulane and the others that you had offers from, there's a little bit of responsibilities and a lot more that goes into it. So what made you decide on going down the military route and choosing Navy?
For Navy, it was bigger than football. I really like the core values that they had of just building men, building leaders. Is something that I've always looked up to throughout my life. My dad served in the army as well. So having that, seeing that military aspect in his life, made him better in his personal life. And so I knew the service academies, they're not easy. And sometimes it does take away from football, but I also think that it brings a lot more to the table of doing those hard things throughout your daily life and applying that to football makes you a more tougher, more grittier person. And that was sort of experience that I feel like I gained a lot here at the Naval Academy, as long as my leadership ability. I was a part of leadership council here my senior year for the Navy football team. And gaining that experiences throughout, um, getting to know my people, knowing my teammates, the position group, uh, and that same things is like applies to the military as well. So I would feel like I learned a lot from the military, and even in the halls, was able to take that and apply it to the field and help make and improve everybody.
Now, it says a lot about your character knowing that it is a lot more that goes in beyond football and to say, hey, I'm going to stand up and I know what the responsibilities are, but I'm going to attack it head on. It says a lot that you want to go through that grit and it makes you a better man out of that. And, the role models that you've had in your life, speaking in particular about your father who served in the army, tell me a little bit about the influence that he's had in your life.
Yeah, throughout my youth, he was huge. He coached me in basketball. In 2012, he passed away due to cancer, and immediately my mom picked up that role. She's my real life role model and kept me going. She's a tough woman, so I always looked up to her and her strength, and that kept me going to be able to give back to her one day. Um, so that played a huge role. And then my high school coach, he taught me. He was the one who really pushed me to go to the Naval Academy, knowing of speaking of knowing the football aspect and playing at a high level, and then the benefits of after you're done playing football in the career. That was something that I didn't want to overlook either. But those role models definitely helped push me. And my dad was enlisted, so being an officer, graduating from the Naval Academy eventually, was really really huge. So I know how much it meant to him when he saw officers being enlisted and how they looked up to them as leaders and mentors. And so knowing that I'll have that position one day means a lot. And I know it means a lot to him too.
Talking about football specifically at Navy. So there's no such thing as redshirting when it comes to the Navy, but you were there for 5 years, correct? So it was the first year you were at a prep academy.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay, and then you did that in 2020, and then 2021 to 2024, you were just trying to get onto the field, trying to make an impact for that Navy team. Uh, Talk to me about that a little bit of the grind and the climb to earn more playing time, because I don't think it was until your last 2 years you were becoming a starter.
Yeah. So for me, when I first got to the academy, my first thought was to be able to make an impact wherever I can. Um, Being likewise, just being coachable, learning from the older guys and taking their knowledge and taking coaching and being able to apply it to the field. I thought that was what helps you separate between the different types of roles that you have on the team. So anytime I was able to ask questions, I asked questions, got to learn more about the game. Uh, Freshman year, I came out and started on special teams on kickoff, KOR, punt, um, and embraced my role. I knew I had a job going out there, and I made sure I did it to the best of my ability. And while doing that, I was making sure I put in my work to be able to get my position work up to get more reps during the games. I was able to play my first game freshman year for season opener, um, and that helped me learn a lot about the speed of the game, uh, how to be able to move efficiently on the line, being undersized and young at the same time. A lot of people always have like the big eyes, so I wanted to make sure I got rid of that and build as much experience as possible. But that came in from the work I put in outside of the classroom, outside of practice, in my playbooks every night, studying, working on my steps, working on my hands. Those were things that I took a lot of pride in doing, and I feel like that helped me get the advantage to be able to make an impact on the team once those roles were presented to me. I stayed with my special teams throughout my 4 years here, and I loved every bit of it. Um, KOR and punt especially. I feel like I left free range on that. Um, but then once my junior year came around, the starting spot opened up. I was the backup freshman sophomore year, and as soon as it happened, I didn't even blink because I already knew. Like I treated myself every time I was out there. I was a starter. I'm a high competitor, especially when it comes down into the field. So as soon as I had the opportunity, I took it and ran with it, and was able to make an impact early on the team, like where we didn't even lose a step. Um, and so just making sure I hold that and hold the guys to a high standard, we were able to be very, very effective up front, especially along the D line and even on special teams as well.
Yeah, earning your stripes, playing special teams goes a long way. Coaches definitely noticed that, and they saw that in you, and that starting spot did open up, and you were definitely making an impact for Navy, beating these teams like Oklahoma and all these powerful schools that people would label as powerful. And Navy was definitely on the map, and the Navy defense definitely, you were a big part of that. But now you're getting ready for the NFL and transitioning into a new career. Now, between pretty much the combine and the NFL draft, teams are setting up those meetings or reaching out to agents, to Kyle and asking about you and things like that. But have you had any sort of interactions with teams thus far, or are you just going to wait until pro day and then teams are going to approach you?
So far I've heard that I will be at the Ravens local day in Baltimore on April 12th. Um, I'll be taking part on that. I hear stuff, through the grapevine, but as of right now, I'm just trying to block out all the noise and focus on the task at hand. Taking it one step at a time, dominating pro day, going out dominating local day, um, to be able to show my skills and my versatility as much as possible.
And then local day, so that's literally like local, like the Ravens host something for people that are local around the area.
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. I didn't know that they did something like that. Um, but tell me a little bit about yourself as far as like some interesting facts. What are some other hobbies that you have? I know that we talked about fishing and hunting and things of that nature, but is there anything else?
I do a little bit now of pickleball. That's been booming up. Pickleball and golf. Outside of football when I can. Still staying healthy, of course. Um, and then something interesting is so my mom, she is born and raised in Germany. So I've been learning my German over here on my end and expanding my knowledge about the culture and everything. So I thought that was something fun and learn that I can learn and pick up. I've been doing that since throughout like my childhood and even more here at the Naval Academy, meeting different people and all over the country. That's been a really unique experience. So, but besides that, just being with my teammates, and even like my classmates too, and evolving from there. I'm a Marine Corps select, so always just working out whenever I can too in that aspect of things. So
Yeah, no, pickleball. I mean, I know it's definitely like old people love it. Like I just see a bunch of old people just playing on courts and stuff like that. No, pickleball is pretty fun. And then German, that's awesome that you're learning that too. I know. I don't know if you've seen like Amon St. Brown and his brother. Uh, their mother is also from Germany, and so they were kind of raised from like 3 years old. Hey, you have to speak German on top of English. So yeah, I mean, it's good to have those both those languages in your back pocket. What kind of I guess like pregame stuff are you listening to? Like stuff that you get hyped on?
I switch it up depending on how the day's going. So like in the morning is very calm, but as the time gets closer for till game day, I'll switch it up and kind of like ramp it up a little bit with either so like some punk rock going on, or then I'll switch it over to rap and then kind of go over to like some like early 2000 rock. Just to get like the head flowing, especially like Marine Corps selects always like with like their rock and metal music. So it kind of cracks me up. But the stuff like that just gets you in the mood, just gets you in that mindset. Being a part of like the academy, we always talk about, especially with the football team, like this is the closest like thing you can get to combat, experiencing just being trying to dominate one person in front of each other. So like my mind says like I'm going to war. I'm batting out for my boys, my brothers to the left and my right. Um, and that's kind of like the mindset I try to get into right before game day. And once you have that mindset, you're locked in, dialed into your assignment, and doing your job, and putting trust in the brothers. They're all your brothers around you.
Yeah, that's rock music definitely puts you in that mindset. I mean, I'm actually a big metalhead myself, and my wife calls it divorced dad rock, and
Divorce dad, bro. Oh yeah.
it's kind of fitting for me because I'm a little bit older. I'm 31, so but for you, to listen to that music, it's like I don't think he's a divorced dad just yet, or never will be. Hopefully, never.
Hopefully.
But what kind of bands are you listening to?
I'll switch over from like Shine Down to Three Doors Down, but over to what's this? Skylit Drive. A little bit more on the heavier side. Um, what was it? 5 Days to Remember. Like that kind of bounce around from there. But then also when I'm out like before the game starts, I have on my co-ed, so Parker McCullough, Morgan Wallen, like I got that going through too. So it kind of ranges, especially depending on the time of day and how when does the game start. So it kind of helps me stay focused and keeps me in the mindset of what we got a task at hand.
Yeah, no, that's a wide variety of things. That's awesome that um, but now that, you're getting ready for the NFL, I actually, real quick, saw that you're an English major. Is that correct? Do you have a passion for writing?
Yeah, that was something I picked up over here. I wasn't a big writer in high school until I got here. We take a lot of STEM classes and it's you have enough. Everyone gets a bachelor's in science here at the academy. But then once I found the English department, I fell in love with the concept of expressing like your thoughts and opinions on certain matters and certain topics and on writings and literature and hearing different voices. It helped me broaden my mind. Not only as a guy, someone like in the military and trying to figure their way out through life. But it's just nice hearing the thoughts of like that certain time periods throughout the years. So I got a really appreciation for that.
Nice, yeah, no, it definitely also opens up your mind too and keeps you, on your toes. I mean, I think in today's culture, everybody's like, watching stuff on their phone is brain rot, but, like, having that ability to, like, "Okay, I'm gonna write a little bit," or, like, just, read, definitely goes a long way. It keeps you sharp. But with the NFL, as you're gearing up for that, we talked about you preparing for pro day. We talked about, you attending Ravens, local camp, and hopefully that'll be a good opportunity for you to get some eyes on you. Um, but as you're getting geared up for the draft, when you think about teams that could possibly select you, I know that there are certain defenses that you're familiar with, but do you see a certain defense in the NFL or a defensive coordinator that you see and you're like, hey, I would love to play under this guy or this team?
I think there's a lot of great defensive coordinators that I would love to go play for. But honestly, I feel like my type of style is being coachable. I adapt my game to wherever I best see whatever the team needs. And even if it's defensive end, I'm also going in and doing my pro day as a fullback as well. Um, to gain that experience. That's something that I've been working on throughout my training here. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of teams that like I taken a good keen eye to. Um, but I just want it just comes out to being coachable. I feel like, and being able to apply myself to whatever coaches that they may want to take me as their player.
Yeah, that's it's a good transition actually as well from, okay, potentially I could play defensive end, but then also fullback. There's actually someone I grew up with, Alex Arma. He played in the league for about 7 years or so, but he played defensive end in college, and but he was drafted as a fullback. So the skill sets are very similar. So it makes kind of a little bit of sense to train for that as well. Do you see certain players, whether it be fullbacks or defensive ends, that you kind of want to model your game after?
Yeah, a lot. I mean, growing up, I was a huge fan of Von Miller, his effectiveness with his body size. He was undersized, but able to use his speed and his ability of transitioning pass rush to be very effective. Him, Vic Beasley in college when he was at Clemson, I used to look at him a lot. And then from a pass rushing standpoint, Aaron Donald, how effective he was inside interior. Um, Having that experience of playing inside, feel like that helped me evolve my game. And then Picard, for the Ravens fullback, I mean, I feel like he set the stone, making that transition that he did from, pretty sure, yeah, I went to Maine. Um, but yeah, making that transition over to from from D line to fullback, hoping to be able to continue needs a fullback then right there too.
Yeah, that's awesome that you're saying Vic Beasley and giving him some credit because in college he was very dominant. I'm a Falcons fan, so I
Oh,
loved him
there you go.
for I I loved him for 1 year, and then 28-3 happened, and then after that he was didn't do so hot. But yeah, good list of players to look forward to or look up to. Um, but to kind of wrap up this interview, you've been selling yourself this whole entire interview. I'm definitely sold, and I would definitely love to give you a chance, but it's not about me; it's about the NFL general managers. So when these scouts come up to you on your pro day, whether it's the Ravens at local day, and they ask you the question, "Why does Justin Reed belong in the NFL? Why is he starting defensive end, starting fullback?" What is your answer?
You're getting a player not only as versatile as defensive end or as a fullback, but you're getting someone who's versatile, who dials in on his job and his key assignment. Doesn't think focus on the small details, and it's not just getting a football player, but getting a leader as well. Behind the scenes and the stuff that I've learned here at the academy that I use throughout my football and my training, you're getting a benefit on the team and in the locker room guy too. So um, it's not just a football player you're investing; it's a leader as well.
I love that. I mean, you're intelligent. Leadership goes a long way in the locker room. Physically, you've proven it on the field. There's no doubt about it in my head that we're going to be seeing you playing on Sundays. So, Justin, thank you so much for your time and best of luck in this journey.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.